Hey, this is Jennifer Kao. Today, I'd like to share with you my perspective on MLM, a topic that is taboo to a lot of people and why I think it's like a durian. You have to understand it to appreciate it, but hey, it's not for all. Some might find it's like eating strawberry yogurt sitting in the toilet, while others find it so deliciously addictive. But here's a challenge for you. Why not taste it? It is the king of fruit after all, so let's get right into it. What is multi-level marketing, MLM, and where did it come from? Multi-level marketing, also known as network marketing, evolved from early direct selling models in America. Direct selling, which is door-to-door selling, began in the 1800s to the early 1900s. An example of such companies is Avon, and most people have heard of Avon, a single-level direct selling business model where people earn commission on their sales. So it's like a sales job without a retainer, 100% commission-based. However, over the years, this business model evolved into something very interesting. When in 1930s and 1940s, Nutrilite introduced multi-level structure, introducing leverage. This is when the real shifts happen. Why? It's because people went from a no retainer salesperson into owning a small business where not all money is earned from them alone, but also earned from a percentage of the people that they bring into their business. Just like an employer and an employee working together to make money for any business. However, the difference is that people don't pay the person they recruit into the business, and there is no rental or expenses for their business. So if you're tired of paying wages and rental for your business, then maybe you might find MLM a little bit more attractive than you think. If people treat it like a business, it is one, because they will be doing business activities. So as a year rolls, progress, then appear Amway. And Amway refined and scaled the MLM structure globally. They are often credited for professionalizing the compensation model. And more people begin to understand this business model. So around the 1980s to 2000s, companies like Herbalife, Mary Kay, Nu Skin, Tupperware globally expanded to the rest of the world. Then progress. Here comes the digital and social media era. This era commenced around about 2010 to the present day, where people within the MLM industry got really creative and innovative. They took the fundamental key of the MLM business model, which is leverage, and scale it. For the entrepreneur savvy, the focus shifts from local to global, boundary to boundless, social media marketing to live streaming, personal branding. People can have lots of fun taking their business in a myriads of direction, operating as an e-commerce. Influencers realize it so they can leverage off the system, as well as leveraging off their followers to earn without capping. Famous artists such as actors, singers, dancers, athletes realize that they can earn exponentially without capping by sharing their daily consumptions, leveraging off both systems and their followers by doing exactly what they're already doing every day, communicating with their followers. Today, success depends less on cold recruitment and more on community building, education, brand positioning, digital influence. Just like a durian, MLM is very polarizing. Some people love it and some people totally hate it. So why do people love MLM? MLM works because it activates human nature, not just compensation plans. So there's a sense of belonging. Humans crave tribe, and MLM creates meetings, recognitions, a shared language, a shared mission. It gives an identity. So when someone joins, they're not just buying a product, they're buying a sense of belonging. And of course, there's hope and possibilities. So MLM sells financial independence, flexibilities, a different future to what it is that they're facing today. And also hope. Hope is a very powerful energy, especially for people who feel stuck, unseen, and want a little bit more control in their life. And one of my favorite within the MLM system is personal growth. It creates a personal growth environment where companies integrate mindset training, goal setting, public speaking, sales skills, leadership development. So through this process, people really can understand themselves a lot better. So for many, MLM becomes their first personal development school. Now, leverage and duplication psychology, the idea of I don't have to do it alone. This appeals because humans like teamwork. Humans like availability, reward. Humans like fairness tied to effort. The structure rewards influence. So the question I often get when people talk about MLM, they kind of refer to it as, oh, it's a scam, or isn't it that pyramid thing? So let's bring ethical MLM versus pyramid schemes. The difference is very important. So ethical MLM has real products with real consumers, and there is a demand for it, with income primarily from product sales. Customers exist outside the distributor network, transparent compensation plan, and no mandatory large inventory loading. Examples of legal MLM companies through history: Amway, Herbalife, Nu Skin, and of course my favorite, PM International. Why do people love community? So MLM should not be your purpose. It should be the engine funding your purpose. There is a shift from recruitment energy towards value energy. The old MLM mindset is, who can I recruit? New leadership mindset is, how can I build people? Because when people grow, income will follow and retention will be strengthened. Integrity builds long-term brand. People now focus on community over commission. Most MLM teams fail because they chase rank and not relationship. What I love to focus on are things like perspective widening, emotional intelligence, calm, leadership, cinematic thoughtful, communication. When MLM is used as a platform for empowerment, a structure for self-development, a vehicle for health education, it becomes sustainable. So MLM isn't a bed of roses. The brutal truth about MLM, it's not easy money, it's passive from day one, and it's a personal development and business development learning journey. It requires emotional stability, rejection tolerance, systems and consistency, time management, which everybody wants to improve. Most people try and failed MLM not because MLM is flawed, but because they lack the discipline, skills, and long-term thinking. Now, this is only my perspective. Direct selling felt like a job because it lacks leverage. MLM added leverage, but leverage alone does not create a business. Leadership, system, and assets thinking do. There are many components within the MLM business model, and people can pick and choose whichever part they choose to participate in. Whether it's recruiting, training, build a team, earn, override commissions, create residual cash flow, build a network, develop leaders, create duplications, earn from the structure and not just from effort, or just become a happy consumer supporting a friend, family, or your favorite influencers, athletes, artists, whichever. So when it comes to MLM, it's all about the leverage. Let me see, leverage the systems and processes that is already in place for you to actually build your business, because you don't have to worry about inventory, you don't have to worry about shipping, you don't have to worry about product quality, product control, any of those things. You just have to do one thing, which is the marketing component, hence the word multi-level marketing. And that's just, marketing is just one component of any business. MLM is all about leverage. Leverage of systems and processes, leverage of social media, leverage of digital marketing, leverage of your upline, leverage of past results. So it's all about leverage and more leverage. So on the topic of leverage, leverage is something that psychologically shifts from a job to a business. So here's the truth. Just because the model evolved doesn't mean that everyone becomes a business owner. Most MLM participants still operate like commission earners, retailers, casual sellers, and of course consumers. They do not build systems, develop leadership, track cash flow, which is very important in any business, build brand assets. So for them, it still feels like a job. The model allows business building, but attitude, perspective, behavior determines whether it becomes one. So let's look at the identity shift. It went from direct selling in the 1980s, I sell for an income, to MLM structure, I build a distribution. Real business ownership requires strategic thinking, asset creation, long-term vision, financial literacy, systems building, brand building, positioning. Yes, all this because it is a business. So without these, even MLM feels like commission work, and this is what comes to mind when people hear of MLM. So what's the difference between a job and a business? A job is when you have an income tied directly to personal output. A business is when an income tied to a system or assets that operates beyond you. So MLM introduced the possibility of asset building via the network structure. But it is still not full ownership because you don't own the brand. You don't own the manufacturing. You don't control the product. You don't control the compensation plan changes. So it's closer to a franchise style distribution, entrepreneurship. So not pure entrepreneurship. So there you have it. It's just another business model evolving over time. So I have an idea for you. If you ever thought about starting a business either by yourself or with friends or family, I suggest you try MLM first because within this business model, there is no room to hide. Everyone's attitude, skill sets, abilities all surface very, very quickly. It is a great way to pre-qualify your potential business partners as well as yourself and see if that is what you're meant to be. People can save hundreds of thousands of dollars by trying MLM first. I've seen so many businesses open and close in a very short period of time. Some between 3 months to 6 months, 10 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. Every single time I see an old tenant move out of a premise and a new one moves in, I know that someone has just lost at least a couple of hundreds of thousands of dollars and someone has just spent a couple of hundred thousands of dollars. And then this changeover happens extremely frequently, especially these days. So yes, MLM is a great way to pre-qualify yourself and your potential business partners that you really do want to be an entrepreneur and not just liking the idea of being an entrepreneur and liking the idea of owning a business. So thinking about having your own business? Try MLM because at MLM, it is your practice run. Learn some more, refine your skills, practice. And through this process, when you feel really, really comfortable and really confident about operating a business, come to MLM to practice your business skills. And then you can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to perfect your ideal business. So, just like a durian, have a try, take a bite, and see if it's for you.